Hello, my name is Johnnyfaiz, and welcome to my reaction video towards Quazi's other videos. And I just want to give my reaction to them because I just really like it a whole lot. I enjoy it, and want to give you my reaction.
I just finished the Rising 2022 event, and there was a particular line that Yoshi-P dropped via his in-game avatar as usual, but this time round it's about the possibilities and the future of Final Fantasy XIV. And the cryptic line goes, "Indeed, another great change is about to visit the world, and it shall open the way to exciting new journeys." And it immediately reminded me of the Famitsu article I talked about previously, and I'll drop a link to the video in the pinned comments if you want to check that out. Before we start, know that this video is spoiler free. I avoided discussing anything regarding the latest MSQs on purpose. And before we dive in, if you like my coverage of FF14, do subscribe to the channel, that will mean a lot to me. Let's get started. In that Famitsu article, Yoshi-P essentially said that unlike the usual patch structure where point 1 to point 3 wraps up the story for the expansion, and point 4 and point 5 sets up the next expansion, for Endwalker in particular, it will not be using the same structure. And in that Famitsu article, he also said that the story of 6.x for Endwalker will end with a certain event. And this event will completely change the story that we know of, and 7.0 will be based off that. Now, if you combine that with what Yoshi-P said in the Rising for 2022, which by the way, if you have not done it, I strongly urge you to get the Rising event done. You get a kick-ass minion, very familiar face, I'm sure you will love.
The Rising event was
but more
really
importantly,
good.
it was a very heartwarming one. But yes, when you put the two together, where Yoshi-P said that great change is about to visit the world, and it shall open the way to exciting new journeys. I cannot help but wonder what is this great change he's talking about. Now, there's a part of me that immediately jumps to the idea that, oh, it might be another calamity. It might be something bad that befalls Eorzea as we know. Because if we think about it right now, currently Eorzea is pretty peaceful. Most Final Fantasy XIV players are happily relaxing on their island sanctuaries. There needs to be a catalyst for change. And what better catalyst than this great change to visit your world? They definitely need to introduce some form of tension, some form of distress that gives us motivation to go on to 7.0 adventures. Now, I also have counter arguments of why a calamity might not be what they want. Now, before we get there, it's interesting to note that 7.0 also marks the introduction of those graphical changes to the engine, graphical upgrades to the engine that Yoshi-P teased quite a while ago. We'll get brand new lighting dynamics, textures of grasses and greenery will be updated. And that's very exciting. So maybe a calamity is one way to kind of introduce and explain the graphical upgrades. Like, oh, the world has been changed due to a particular event. Now, the landscape might stay the same, but maybe things will look different. A calamity is a good way to kind of explain that. Again, this is just speculations. Another reason why I can see Yoshi-P and team trying to shake up the world is, the next expansion will also mean that for new players to get caught up to Final Fantasy XIV and the storyline, they have to go through A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker. That's a lot of content to basically get caught up. And I think Yoshi-P and team have already signaled that they want to continue growing the Final Fantasy XIV player base by attracting new players, making it more appealing to the solo players. And that's why we have the Trust Revamp system, right? There's a part of me that also wonders, like, is part of their new angle for expansions a brand new arc, a brand new beginning, so that even if you haven't played all the way up to Endwalker, which by the way, I agree that you'll be missing out on a lot of good stuff, but to a new player who's completely foreign to Final Fantasy XIV, going through all that old content might be very daunting. So a brand new expansion where this great change brings about a new paradigm and allows you to start from scratch, from fresh, and not feel like, oh, I'm missing out on the lore and whatnot from the other previous expansion, might be something they actually are considering. I mean, just think about it, the marketing material writes itself. Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV now featuring a graphical upgrade with 7.0, with an expanded free trial up to Shadowbringers? Now, I don't know if they go to Shadowbringers, but I think you'll...
True. Like, it'd be so cool, but I wonder the expansions of servers in November 23rd. I would predict the free trial will bump up to level 70. Possibly level 80 if that was the case. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe next year, maybe this year, who knows?
absolutely a great hook for trials, a fresh new restart where you don't need any prerequisite lore to come in, a promise of an updated visual engine for you to experience the world, and the start of a new adventure that allows new sprouts, new players to start at parity versus, Final Fantasy XIV veterans. Sounds like a pretty good plan to me. And we've seen this happen to other MMOs. In order to constantly rejuvenate, allow new players to come in, they have to streamline the earlier content to make it more palatable for new players to come in. For them not to feel like, oh, it's so daunting, there's so much to do. Although yes, I'm biased, I'll probably recommend all the sprouts go through all the expansions in chronological order if I could. But it's hard to actually convince someone until they actually try it. And sometimes it's all about lowering the hurdle so they would try out Final Fantasy XIV. And that's why I see some merits in the argument that, oh, the great change will basically bring a brand new calamity, and it's the best time to hop in because it's a brand new world. Well, not necessarily a brand new world, but the world as we know it will be changed forever. And this video is not meant to go into spoiler territories, and I don't want to speculate what's going to come in 6.3 and 6.4 following the 6.2 MSQs. I've already covered that in my 6.2 MSQ reaction video. But yeah, the possibilities are out there. There's still so many reflections that we can visit. There's the brand new world, there's Meracidia that we have not seen yet. There are already lore materials and contexts that Yoshi P and team can draw on to result in a new tension or a brand new conflict that the Warrior of Light has to address. Now let's talk about the flip side. Endwalker 6.0 MSQs, it marked the end, a majestic finale where you finally save the world. The Warrior of Light can kick back and relax at long last. There's definitely a part of me that feels like if they suddenly throw you into this whole big calamity thing again, to imply that it is even graver than the threats that you face in 6.0, that might be too jarring. And we all know Endwalker felt great because they were constantly building to this epic finale, and it took them many years, many expansions to get here. But to suddenly introduce a force or a change that is even greater than what we potentially were facing in 6.0, that might feel too sudden. So they might need to gradually build towards that. I do believe that good storytelling has a certain ebb and flow to it. We need to let the tension and the drama simmer in order for us to experience those epic moments again. So yes, I'm conflicted. There's two different tensions in my head. Although the funniest thought that has entered my head is this, which is you give people island sanctuaries that people are enjoying right now, regardless of whether you are very into spreadsheets or you're just taking your own sweet time going through the island, gathering things in a leisurely fashion. I just think it's pretty comical if there is suddenly a calamity that might wipe out your island sanctuary. All those hard work that you put in to gather and build those things might be threatened by yet another calamity. Like, there's just something funny about that, to think like, oh, I can finally relax and enjoy the retirement life, and then boom, the Warrior of Light has to pick up the arms again and deal with this brand new threat. But you can also say that's the life of the Warrior of Light. There's always brand new adventures to be had. Like some say, there's no rest for the best. I've been looking forward to the Rising event ever since I covered the Famitsu article, and now that I've done it, it seems to reinforce what Yoshi P said in the interview, so I just wanted to quickly share my thoughts, all these random musings that is in my head. I just wanted to get it out there, and I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think might happen next. Now obviously I kept this video deliberately spoiler free because I know that some of you folks are going through MSQs. But again, I stress, you should definitely do the Rising this year. I would say for sure it is way better than last year's event. Again, won't spoiler you, check it out yourself. Especially the message that Yoshi P has for the Warrior of Lights. It's a very heartfelt message. It's so good. Definitely check it out. And that's basically my thoughts and reflections on the Rising event. I'm also curious to hear your thoughts. What do you think Yoshi P is implying here? What exactly is this great change that is about to visit the world? Eager to read.
Man, it's so exciting. The goosebumps. What is this great change that Yoshi P is talking about? What is it? Oh my god. Pretty exciting though, really. It is so exciting to be an FF14 player. It is so exciting. The next new adventure. Damn, I'm pretty excited. And again, guys, thank you for watching. What do you guys think? Please subscribe to Quazi's videos. I love his videos. I basically watch it every day about this video. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this new change? This new adventure? This tease from Yoshi P?